We are taking you into the weekend with this edition of Hurricane Hunt. We're going to talk about post-tropical storm Philippe. I'm meteorologist Joe Martucci. In the boneyard, meteorologist Sean Sublette. I see that skeleton back there dressed in, is that a Hawaiian lei? Is that what I'm seeing back there?
That is my wife's idea. She's like, Sean, you need to give Bones a little bit of color there. And I said, you know what? I can't argue with that.
Right.
We've got our first real fall taste of air coming into the middle Atlantic
Yeah.
this weekend. So we're excited. We're excited about it.
Are you a big Halloween guy?
I do enjoy some Halloween. And by the way, if you want to know more about Halloween, be sure and listen to our podcast.
I didn't even mean to tee that up for the podcast, but yes, check out our Across the Sky podcast. Sean is always thinking cross promotion. So that is
always
great.
Cross promotion.
Yeah.
Yes, let's get back at it. Fortunately, Philippe isn't a massive threat, but it is a threat, right, Joe? Take us through the poll
this is essentially the poor man's Hurricane Lee that came through a couple weeks ago to also Maine and Nova Scotia. This isn't a hurricane. This is a fairly weak post-tropical cyclone. It's going extra tropical, which means it's a cold core system, kind of like our nor'easters and coastal storms that we talk about. The biggest impacts will be high waves and coastal flooding along the immediate shoreline in New England and as well as Nova Scotia. And there will be strong winds and heavy rain in those areas as well. So, Sean, we're looking at the satellite right now. What are we seeing?
Yeah, we see it's not a particularly well-organized system. You look at that kind of complex of clouds, thunderstorms there. That's just on the east side of Bermuda. The top winds are 50 miles per hour, but it's not a very symmetrical storm. Having said that, just because something's post-tropical doesn't mean that you kind of dismiss it. There's still going to be a lot of high waves and coastal flooding as this thing comes in to New England. Not so much Boston, but into the Gulf of Maine, and ultimately we expect even into the Bay of Fundy once again, which is how you alluded to the previous storm earlier this season. So this would be the center track, basically taking it back up to the Gulf of Maine, Bay of Fundy, late Saturday night and into the first part of Sunday morning. So there will be strong winds, there will be high surf and some beach erosion, that kind of stuff. It is a high impact storm, but it's not a cataclysmic storm. Take us through some of these wind fields, Joe.
Yeah, so we have a couple locations here on the map. Most of them are in the United States. The exception is Halifax and Nova Scotia. And you see as we go forward, you can kind of see that eye, that little clearing spot there where the winds are fairly light. But as we go into Saturday night, they kick up in Portland and Halifax. Halifax especially with sustained winds in the 20s. Everywhere else, it's just kind of a breezy Saturday night into Sunday where sustained winds are in the teens, gusts are 25 to 30 miles an hour. We'll see much worse in our nor'easters that we get this season. But it's just going to be breezy as we go into there and as we go into Sunday here. And then we're ending that. It'll actually be fairly calm come Sunday night. Wave heights, always an issue for our friends that are mariners here or still taking some of those cruises on up into Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. Not going to be a good weekend for that. We're talking about wave heights that will be 15 to 25 feet getting into, or just, I should say, offshore, Maine and New Hampshire and Nova Scotia Saturday night into Sunday. So waves are going to be high. They're going to be dangerous, and there's going to be tidal flooding in those low-lying areas as we go into Saturday night and Sunday here. And then by Sunday night, it's pretty much gone. Those waves will go down in a hurry. So, Sean, we are in early October, still, of course, in hurricane season, but we are on our way down.
Yeah, we've hit the peak, the statistical peak of the hurricane season, and we are on that downward swing, but we see the next precipitous drop toward the second half of this month. Now, the full-on hurricane season does go till the end of November, so you never want to, shut down for the season just yet. But in terms of the most active part of the season, we're getting closer to the end of that all the time. So wrap it all up and take us home for the weekend, Joe.
Yeah, here we go. So we are talking about Tropical Storm Philippe, post-tropical storm Philippe, I should say. It became post-tropical, going extra tropical. You can use those interchangeably. They're both the same here. Biggest impacts are the high waves and the coastal flooding. Yes, there will be some wind. Yes, there will be some rain. But unless you're in Nova Scotia, it's not that big of a deal. It's just kind of a wetter weekend here across the area. Some areas of roadway flooding, but not anything that is significant as we go into Saturday and Sunday. So we are going to wrap it up for this weekend's edition of Hurricane Hunt. We'll keep it nice and short for you here. We'll be back when there's more storms to talk about. Probably sometime next week we'll be back.
Yeah, fortunately, things look quiet after this for a while, but we always keep an eye out to the Atlantic for sure, Joe.
Exactly. And while we're here, Sean, we should quickly tease. We are getting close to our snow surge season. We love alliterations here. Yes.
Bringing it back for season 2, buddy. You know it. You know it.
Yeah, we're going to start doing that right around Thanksgiving. So as soon as Hurricane Hunt wraps up, Snow Search is coming back. So be on the lookout for that too. All right, now we'll really wrap it up. For meteorologist Sean Sublette, I'm meteorologist Joe Martucci. Have a great weekend, everyone.